If you found this video enjoyable, please leave a like and hell, even subscribe if you want to. It only takes 2 clicks, and push that notification bell just to get the messages for my videos. That would be greatly appreciated. So this is going to be a different type of video on the channel because I have a guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
What's up, peeps? It's your lawyer, JobberGodot. Thanks for having me on the channel, Meadows. We're gonna get into this JoJo stand speed tiering business,
So, for some prior context on the channel, me and Gobbert has some history. Jobbert, I don't know what the fuck I said Gobbert for. We're leaving that in the video because it's funny, because this is in between 2 people here. Yeah, this is why it's a little bit more, more unique than it is kind of ordinary for the channel, because I have a guest here and we're doing a live recording on Discord and it's a little bit fun. Me and him have some, I guess the internet would describe beef in a sense. If you catch my live streams and stuff, usually people ask for me to, view other people's videos and stuff on stream, and somebody said, hey, somebody made a debunk video on you. And of course it was Jobbert. And instead of making a debunk video and going crazy on it, me and him had a very civil discussion on Discord and, gave our thoughts out. And at the very end of it, we said, hey, let's just collab on videos and just have fun with it. And one of the ideas we came up with is speed tiering in JoJo's, because Jobbert showed me a very interesting, well, power scaling-esque speed thing for JoJo characters. And it was very enlightening. He showed me the light, and I think we're gonna segue into kind of what speed tiering is for JoJo, and I guess in the sense of all of it. So Jobbert, it's up to you, bro.
All right, so we're gonna talk about speed metas. You alright, guys, get caught the pun there, but still, we're gonna talk about these speed metas real quick. Like, for example, I'm gonna go over 3 of them real quick. So the first one is infinite speed. Now, infinite speed is the ability to move/travel in an infinite distance within any finite amount of time, basically being able to travel anywhere instantly. Teleportation does not count. Inaccessible speed is being able to move when time is stopped, or moving within a timeless void by sheer speed alone. And next we have is immeasurable speed, which is like the ability to move and/or travel in a negative amount of time regardless of distance traversed. Like an example of that would be just, the Flash from DC, because he can go back and forward in time through like sheer speed alone. Now, we're gonna stop there because no one in JoJo's as of right now goes beyond immeasurable speed.
So we'll be using Taco Cats and Endless Mike's calcs because this all goes to them. All credit goes to them. There's a lot of information here that involves math that I am clearly not smart enough for here. I think Jobbert probably got an A in math, unlike me. So we'll be all using it. It's all their calcs, just FYI. Taco uses 90 degrees for Silver Chariot swing because he's lazy. He states that Silver Chariot swing was more than 90 degrees, just a little bit more than that. He plugs all the numbers into the theta formula and he gets about 365 times the speed of light. Taco states with that calc, this is kind of a low ball for Silver Chariot. He actually moves considering with Polar standing a fair distance away from the Indian dude, but that's good enough. Anyways, here's the numbers to scale Silver Chariot and Star Platinum, even if they're low balls. They're here on screen. They're very large and very big. If you want the actual numbers, here's the speed of light, and then just times it by the actual number here.
Jotaro, right? For more context, like how this scales to other like stance and stuff. Jotaro blitzes Anubis that was, wrecking, Silver Chariot, and Jotaro was holding back, stating the punch was like shallow. For simplicity's sake, I'll say that, Jotaro catching Anubis' sword in mid-air was a skill feat, because as Anubis just states that quote-unquote Star Platinum strength doesn't come from its speed and power, it comes from Jotaro's ability to make, split-second decisions under pressure. Now, to Anubis, once he fights you and takes an L, he gets faster and stronger. Given the evidence, he probably gets 2 times stronger and faster, because in the first fight he loses to, Chariot, but in the end, like, the second fight, right, he's boloing Chariot. Like, he pressures like Jotaro and after his 3rd amp, and keep in mind I'm not including Silver Chariot when he had like part of his armor taken off, because that didn't happen in manga, that happened in the anime. And Anubis is using these stat amps to close the gap between like the gap in speed between him and like Star Platinum, and also strength 2, and just surpass the stand, which he does. Now finally, to Silver Chariot, Jotaro states himself that he can't hold back against Silver Chariot, which means Silver Chariot scales to Star Platinum in speed, and Chariot with its armor off is faster. I'll assume he gets a 2 times speed increase, but I'll also give a low ball of 1.5 times speed.
I would also like to add that if this is honestly the case, we could make the argument that Silver Chariot with its armor completely off could actually be JoJo. I think both of us could agree with that.
Yeah, it's a possibility, yeah.
All right. If Anubis really got 2 times faster, then why didn't he just straight up blitz Silver Chariot and Star Platinum? Because he was getting gradually faster. It was shown when he was fighting Polnareff the second time. It's stated by Polnareff when he was outside the barbershop, said by Jotaro in the middle of the fight with Anubis. Think of Anubis like a car. I'm going 80 miles per hour and he's going 40. Now he speeds up to catch up to me, but it's a gradual process. It's not instantaneous. It takes time for him to catch up to me.
Alright, so now why didn't Polnareff use Silver Chariot to blitz Hangman? I'm just gonna say this again, but because Polnareff was still figuring out Hangman's ability, and once he found out it was a simple job for Polnareff, just cut the beam of light. Once Hangman found out the hard way that Polnareff figured out his ability and countered, Hangman put Polnareff in a crowd of people because even if Polnareff could cut the light, he's too close to the people and could harm or kill any of them if he tries to cut, the light in such a short distance with the length of, Silver Chariot's arm and sword. That's why the coin idea was used.
So this is all relative to like part 3. This is just part 3 stats, by the way. Shit gets crazier.
Yeah, this gets fucking lit, man. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, bro. It gets, guys. You guys don't understand how long me and Jobber were talking about this shit. This shit goes so much more fucking in depth. And the next part is all Jobber because this is all him. This is his boat. Part 4, Crazy Diamond. Go off, bro.
Okay, so Jotaro talks about Josuke's hair, and Josuke takes it as an insult. And keep in mind that Jotaro is well aware of Josuke's oncoming attack, as he even states, quote unquote, quoting Jotaro, right? Here comes the stand. And now in Enraged Crazy Diamond, in the fight, breaks Star Platinum's guard. Jotaro literally says he broke through Star Platinum's guard. Jotaro can't dodge the upcoming strike to Star Platinum's face with speed, so he consciously time stops, and right before he does, he even says fine when he's about to do it. Jotaro hasn't gotten any weaker or rustier with Star Platinum, over the years. The only thing that's implied that he got rusty with is time stop, because he says, quote unquote, it's been 10 years, but I managed to stop time, if only half a second. Now Jotaro would have
Rocky sucks at writing.
Yeah, but Jotaro would have been in trouble if that punch landed on him, because if it was able to overpower it and outspeed Star Platinum by forcing him to time stop. He even talks about this idea, saying after the time stop is quote unquote good thing too. I don't think that attack was going to take me out, so he's admitting that it would hit him if he didn't time stop, but one of us was going to get hurt. Okay, now with the evidence shown earlier, it's clear that Jotaro was going to be the one getting hurt if he didn't use time stop. And to say that Jotaro, Josuke, would get hurt would imply that Jotaro would have to do this time stop, of course. And if you still don't believe me, and when I say that the attack would have 100% connected to Jotaro's head, Jotaro even states, what would it have done to my face, to my head? More arguments for crazy, in Enraged Crazy Diamond consists of Jotaro stating that Josuke, you possess an incredibly dangerous power. Don't lose your cool and use it recklessly. And when Jotaro is talking to Josuke about Angelo, Josuke gets pissed for a second, and Jotaro literally pauses in suspense with Josuke's anger. That's why I believe Enraged Crazy Diamond is stronger and faster for its video than Star Platinum, because of the evidence shown earlier and what's implied in part 4. Now it's even stated in the guidebook, quote unquote Crazy Diamond, Crazy Diamonds also have a speed that follows Star Platinum, because that's another thing too. So you could either put them at the same, so when it's just a normal Crazy Diamond, you just could put it either relative to Jotaro or on par. The guidebook says that it's mainly just on par, or you could just say follows, could be relative, whatever. But Enraged is faster and stronger, for sure. Now on to Rohan, because this is the craziest man of them all. So remember that Enraged Crazy Diamond I was talking about? So Rohan decided to diss, Josuke's hair, and all the fists of Crazy Diamond, the Enraged Crazy Diamond, was coming straight at this man. And this athlete, oh my god, this guy's a machine, man. He's built different. He grabbed his manuscript from across the table and put it in front of him before an Enraged Crazy Diamond's fist could reach him without a stand. Just him as a person. It's fucking crazy.
It's kind of crazy because this is actually pretty consistent. If we consider Thus Spoke Rohan Kishibe as canon, because a lot of people, are conflicting on on about that whole that scenario, if they're really important or not, but it really doesn't matter because with this statement, it's actually pretty consistent because Rohan technically fought the god Hermes, or a reincarnation of him, in a, just a one-shot manga, and that guy's pretty fucking crazy. He's like a monster physically. So that's actually a whole different topic in and of itself for Rohan later down the line. I think I'll cover most of these characters by myself, or even with Jobber later down the line. But Rohan's crazy. Like, don't sleep on Rohan. Most of these characters, don't fucking sleep on them. Definitely.
But yeah, just Rohan, like, he's definitely one of the fastest stand users in JoJo. Like, if we're looking at just like stand stats, I'm talking about not leaving the alphabetical order, like saying, like, I'm not saying he has fucking infinite speeds or anything like that. No, I'm saying he's still in the alphabetical order for it. It's just he's just the fastest. He outsped a crazy Diamond that was in Rage before Fist could reach him.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because if we really wanted to go off, we could totally mention those stories with Rohan. No, low key though, like, not even gonna cap, like, Rohan's like kind of probably the smartest JoJo's character, because that man was able to like fight like actual gods in the mountains and then just fought Hermes reincarnated. Moving on to part 5, King Crimson. Now, King Crimson's probably one of the fastest stands in part 5, not counting GER and other characters, but King Crimson's like a beast. So I'm gonna go a little bit in depth right here. King Crimson blitzed and one-shot Silver Chariot in both of their fights. Even Polnareff said it's a matter of luck as to whether or not you can defeat him. I only barely dodged once. King Crimson's fucking stupid. Like, time skip is stupid, epitaph is fucking stupid, and his raw base power is stupid. And I do promise my subscriber fan base, one day I will cover King Crimson separately. King Crimson's a fucking beast. He's a monster. Like, these characters consistently after part 3 just get faster and faster and are just fucking monsters. Like, King Crimson is a small example for part 5. So moving on, we're gonna go to a big leap because we're gonna skip over part 6 here because we're gonna have to get into some of the more heavy issues here, or not issues, more or less the heavy ideas and scaling for JoJo. So I'm gonna throw it back to Jobber over here.
Yo, okay, so we're taking it back to what we were talking about at the beginning, right? With like the infinite speed, inaccessible, immeasurable. And so I'm gonna give like, one example of infinite speed, and Metis is gonna give like we'll just say an example for inaccessible speed and immeasurable speed. So for infinite speed, we have Johnny, right? Johnny Joestar from part 7. So Johnny moves in an infinite distance within any finite amount of time, like using Tusk Act 3. Gyro describes Tusk Act 3 by saying, quote unquote, that infinite location that the spiral spins into, the smallest point possible, is where Johnny sucked his body into. Pause. And if Johnny was able to attain a perfect rotation, then theoretically he can move within that infinite space freely for the few seconds that Johnny's stand ability is activated. Even in the stand stats, right, it describes Tusk Act 3 as follows, like another quote is that if Johnny shoots himself with a nail bullet, he hides himself in a hole. Perhaps he hides in the boundary between different dimensions.
So moving on to inaccessible speeds, GER. GER, with a timeless void that is King Crimson's ability, was able to, with sheer force alone, just fucking said no. King Crimson, just shut the fuck up. He just moves casually through Diavolo's endless time erasure. Like, there's really no way to just really describe it. It's inaccessible. You can't really go in depth. King Crimson was skipping time, and GR said, no, fuck you. I'm gonna move closer to you and say fuck off to your ability. Like, he's moving beyond like what we can even. It's inaccessible. We can't analyze this. Like, this is totally off script, and Jobber's fucking has a giant smirk on his face. But I really have to clarify this point because fucking people on the internet just don't understand this. GR moved through time that was being all of time, actually, and let me clarify that, all of time moving 10 seconds forward, and GR said no, fuck you and your prediction of time and your skipping of time, and said no to that. Like, GR is fucking dumb. I will cover GR one day in a separate video. Just for a small description, GR's fucking busted. He's fucking stupid. And moving on to Poochie. Poochie, using Made in Heaven, accelerates himself and time to infinity, to time traveling 4 months back into the past before Jolene escaped. There's a visual representation of this provided by Araki. For Further proof of Poochie using immeasurable speeds is stated by Araki in the explanation. It is a new world in which the arrival of time-traveling organisms was already predestined. And in the stand stats, it stated to increase the speed of time. The only one who can move freely within it is Poochie. Poochie is just ridiculously fast. I know one of my more popular videos is covering Poochie, but that was more or less in a kind of, you know, analyzing the stand and kind of making him terrifying. It's one of the videos that made my channel blow up, but Poochie deserves a video by himself. Like, all three of these characters we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, are ridiculously powerful and deserve their own videos. We're briefly going over them. Poochie's fucking fast. He moves so fast, time itself begins to bend around him. He's a fucking monster. He controls time, basically. So he's a beast. And I'm gonna let Jobber describe stand stats, because this is probably something that's really important, and I think a lot of people gloss over.
Now we're gonna get into the stand stats, like, you know, with the calcs, right, from part 3 to 6. I'm only gonna use part 3 to 6, okay? Because part 7 and up is just a different story. That's a different universe, right? Different dimension where things are taking place in, different continuity, but still JoJo. Now, so we're gonna use the highest calc for Star Platinum, which is 1,460 times the speed of light, right? And we're gonna put that in A tier, but the thing is, what we're gonna do with A tier is that we're gonna split into 2 categories. First is A1. A1 is, you know, the fastest stands in the series, right? You got Star Platinum, Silver Chariot, and Rage Crazy Diamond, Rohan, right? They belong up there, okay? And A2 is stands that are, you know, A in speed, right? But they've never shown those types of, you know, speeds, right? Or they never interacted with Star Platinum, right? And bested them or anything like that, or shown anything like that. That's what I'm like making, right? So, and we just go down from there to E tier. So for A1, you can see the visual representation that Metis is gonna provide, but A1, right? We have 1,400 times the speed of light, massive faster than light plus. A2, 730 times speed of light, you know, still massive faster than light. I will tell you when it changes. Then B, 365. C, 182.5. D, we finally get into just faster than light plus, which is 91.25. E is 45.625 times speed of light, faster than light plus. Now, for example, right, when it comes to like the A2 speed, now the thing is, if you try to argue this, it wouldn't work. Is that if you think that like Gold Experience is an A in speed, right? And if you think that can hang with Star Platinum and like Silver Chariot in speed, like you're crazy, you're bugging, okay? You're bugging out. Wow, like there's no proof for that, no showings, never interacted with those stands. I mean, even then, like if you want to like try to fight about, oh no, you should beat those speeds, bro. Well, if Silver Chariot, like you got some other stands, right, that could probably tag Silver Chariot, but Gold Experience couldn't even react to like, you know, was it King Crimson? And Silver Chariot and like Lucha Light could tag it, but like, you know, Gold Experience couldn't do anything. He couldn't react. But like finally, if you don't agree that like with these speed calcs and how they're like tiered and think they should be slower, it doesn't make sense, because the gap in speed like is there, but it definitely isn't massive. Like it wouldn't make sense that Star Platinum would fight a B tier like stand in speed, and even though it's slower and that's barely reaching when reacting to Star Platinum instead of, you know, being completely still, like through Star Platinum's eyes, because it's so slow, like, you know, through the logic, right? Like it's not a massive gap, but it's definitely a gap.
There is proof for these stands being faster than light consistently through parts 3 and 6. 7 and 8 are a different discussion. Johnny's fucking, you know, already that, just Act 3 alone. And there is a discussion for Wonder Review and Soft and Wet. I'm not going to explain that in this video because it's kind of a complicated issue. Wonder Review is a stand that's slowly progressing down the line to being too OP for the series, personally speaking, in my experience of just kind of understanding the stand. And one day I will do D4C versus Wonder Review. Wait, I'm waiting for the arc to end. This is totally off script, but it's coming. Like, stands in this series are faster than light. And one of the greatest examples that I've provided, and even Jobbert likes, is the sun. The sun's rays. So I've already heavily explained this kind of speed feat a lot of times, 3 times in a row actually, if we're really counting my videos. Silver Chariot reacts to the sun rays from the stand. The sun, it is very similar to the sun in many aspects, but it's not really the sun, but its rays are very similar and consistent to the sun's rays, which travel at the speed of light.
Now on to part 4. Red Hot Chili Pepper is literally just living electricity that travels through electrical wires and other electrical devices. And as we know, or should know, electricity travels at the speed of light.
Unless you didn't pass like middle school. I'm roasting my viewers, bro. My middle schooler fucking viewers are just crying right now, bro. They in tears right now. I'm sorry, bud. I love you. Pats you on head. Shows a picture of Cheems. Star Platinum is stated in the stand stats in part 6 to move faster than light speeds, which is weird because I did explain this in my JoJo video with Star Platinum. I don't think Jobbert, I don't think you debunk that part in your video. I don't think you did. Like, I don't think you covered part 6 JoJo. I think you mainly complained about part 4 JoJo and part 3 JoJo, right?
But yeah, I mean, he's still, like, even then we did prove that he's faster in light still, so yeah, it's the stand stat.
Oh yeah, yeah, we both agree that. Part 6 start plan is fucking weird. We can all agree on that. But he is faster than light speeds. Like, that's confirmed.
Finally, Jolene in part 6, because people sleep on her, and I had a commenter, I think in one of my Jolene videos. Yeah, my Jolene video. I mean, like, he was like, "Yo, wait a minute. You realize how fast gravity moves?" I'm like, "What you talking about, bro?" And so this is the truth I'm gonna spit to y'all. I didn't know personally. It's good to know. We learn something every day. That Jolene was in her fight with Seamoon, and like Seamoon was able to like turn her body like inside out, right, just by using gravity. And so Jolene, multiple times in the fight, casually like turns like the parts that he punched in her body, right, that tried to turn inside out, into Mobius strips before the gravity, like if Seamoon could like turn her inside out and all that. Now gravity travels at the speed of light. If y'all did not know, that's how fast gravity travels. So that's another consistent faster than light feat. One last thing about Jolene. She even tagged she tagged Made in Heaven Poochie with a knife. That's another thing. She tagged him with a knife, and we already counted he's measurable.
Dude, that's what I was about to say. Jolene can fight all the Joestars at once. Confirmed. She's faster than Jotaro? Question mark. I'm saying that like as a joke now, but somebody in the comments, like, watch people actually gravitate towards this video and be like, "Bro, Jolene," I hit my desk, my bad. Jolene can actually fight these stand users. Soft and Wet versus Jolene. That'd actually be a pretty interesting fight, actually. Bro, Jolene, please go watch Jobber's video. He did a really good job on it. I really actually did thoroughly enjoy that video. It's really good. Jolene's a beast. Like, she's a monster. And before we say our closing statements, I took this out of the script, but I'm still gonna say it anyways. Wonder View and Soft and Wet, they're extremely powerful stands that have ridiculously powerful abilities, and I don't want to spoil them too much later down the line because I will cover them later. But their abilities, like, okay, this is a whole different topic and discussion in of it itself, but the stand themselves might not be like super fast on the speed tiering thing. They might be an E, but their hacks and OP abilities might say otherwise. And I think a really great example of that would be Wonder View and Soft and Wet, because these characters who have stands that can travel at the speed of light and it can react to it, can't react to Wonder View and even Soft and Wet in some early encounters in part 8. So I just want to briefly mention that because we didn't have anything for that part. But yeah, that's just a small little tidbit, some crumb information for later videos down the line. So Jobber, any closing statements?
On my channel, right, like if you guys enjoyed like the stuff I brought to this video, make sure to go check my channel out. Like, I power scale like a lot of things. My favorites being JoJo. It's like mainly centered around JoJo, but I do other like verses, right? Like, for example, I'm gonna have Gurren Lagann on the channel, Steven Universe, and like Dead Space and some other things. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have some JoJo content on the channel. Like, welcome if y'all like.
So to give my closing statements as well for just the video and kind of future plans in general, I'm probably going to be more power scaling oriented now, just because it's a fascinating subject, and just, kind of scaling characters in real life to be like faster than light speeds, or being able to fucking shatter dimensions, and just being able to be casually like 4D and, 6D, and just kind of, nerds being nerds and geeks being geeks, and, having fun with characters. But I still will probably regularly do analysis on other characters and stuff. And I think I'm going to slowly branch out and do other content, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, and just other animes in general, and just start talking about them, because I kind of want to branch my channel out a little bit more, get some branding on that bitch. But yeah, to give a closing statement on the video, stands are fucking fast. They're way faster than you think. They're fucking monstrous. Fucking fast as fuck. And Jobber will come back to the channel more and more, because there are a lot of topics that the JoJo community needs to know. It's not all fucking Joseph memes, god damn it. This series is way more in depth than some people think. Like, I've hinted at it in the community tab of the channel. By the way, go to that because I post a lot there. But there's a lot of things on the channel that we're going to talk about together, and just power scaling in general, because it's super interesting. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Stay hydrated. See you in the next one, ladies and gentlemen.